Hello there, and welcome back. So I've got Oogie Boogie again with my lovely cup of tea. So this is actually going to be the intro to the second part of the birthday card. But what it's actually really here for is as an apology. So it's been possibly a month and a half. I'm hoping just a month since my last video, and I don't know if people have noticed, but I had been trying to get one out once a week. I'm hoping that in a bit I'll actually have a schedule for a day so that I will be able to keep myself doing it. But recently I've had the issue where, I'm in my final year of university for people who don't know me, and my final exams are approaching. So it's just been the Easter holidays, and I have 3 family groups to visit, and my brother came to stay with me for a while, so I was pretty preoccupied with that. And I've been revising for my final exams, and I had an oral presentation, and all of the excuses in the world that you could think of. But I've got loads of videos recorded, it's just finding the time to edit them. And although I'm going to try and pick it back up, the chances are that it's probably just going to be a lot more sporadic as to when videos come onto the channel. So I just wanted to apologise greatly for that, and I hope that people understand. Hopefully it'll get back to normality by July, just because after I finish the exams then I have to move, so that's going to cause issues, and I don't know where I'm moving to yet. Yay! And if I end up moving back home, there's a big chance that I won't have the space to do crafting videos, just because I share a room back home. Plus I probably annoy my stepsister quite a lot. So yes, I wanted to apologise for that. I'm assuming it won't have made too much of an impact to your life, but I will be continuing to put out videos, and I've got some very exciting things coming up, which I'm kind of stressed about trying to fit all in. I'm actually going to be doing some textile-y work. I'm making a cosplay, so that should be really good, which I need to get a move on for because I've only got a month until I'm going, and I only have a t-shirt ready. Yay. But it also means that some of the videos that I put out may not have as much narrative on as I would like, just because they're so much harder to edit and to actually record. They take a lot longer. It also means that I'm not really going to be trying out many new things, again, just because I don't have the time to experiment and play around with things. So there are lots of things that I want to do that I would love to show you guys, and I hope that you would like to watch. Fingers crossed. But yes, so this is just my short apology. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this video, and I hope to see you soon in more videos that hopefully won't take a month and a half to bring out. So I will see you next time. Enjoy the video. And now for this bit, I actually want to make it a square bit, and I'm just gonna estimate on what size I want it. This is something that will come with time. If you're not sure, then you can always just measure out the exact size that you want. So this is the sort of size I'm going for. I think I'm just going to stick it like that. Before doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out some embellishments. So one of the things that I'm always going to say is that embellishments can make a card. They're never going to be the whole soul and base of the card, but having good embellishments can really, really help make a card something special. I'm tempted to go for gold because the browns in this would really accentuate it. Or gold. I think it's a bronze. Copper? All the metallic-y colours. And I'm actually going to stick it along the bit where we just stuck the ripped flowers. Like that. And when you stick it down, don't worry if you overhang. I never cut this beforehand. I cut it off of the paper, mainly because with washi tape you can get it to come back off, and therefore if you decide after you put it down, oh no, I don't actually like it, you can take it back and put it back on your little tapey bit. So that's what that looks like at the moment. And I might put some form of embellishment there. I'm not going to do that yet. What we're going to do is we're going to stamp this. And I would recommend to anyone doing any stamping to do it before you stick it down. So you have this bit of paper separately, because I know I'm going to be using embossing powder. And because I'm doing that, it means that it doesn't get stuck in all the nooks and crannies that you have, because obviously it's stuck down, like you're not going to be able to pull it off, but it's still raised from the original paper, and it looks untidy. It also means if you stamp on this wrong, you can just cut out another piece of card and do it again. You haven't ruined the whole card, so you have to start all over again. I'm actually tempted to try out that stamp. So this is a Tim Holtz stamp, so this is an expensive stamp. It was a gift. I haven't used it yet, so I'm going to give it a go. I may decide that I don't like it. If I don't like it, then I'll just get out I'll cut another piece of paper. So when you have stamps like this, they have a specific type of back to them. Did I take it? Yes. And the way that they work is you get one of these blocks. Now you can either buy these separately, or sometimes they come with stamps. When they come with stamps, you know, I think I have 3 of these, and I've been bought one, whereas the other 2 came with like stamps I got from Poundland. So they're pretty common. And the stamps that you get, they'll come on a bit of plastic. Keep the plastic. It helps protect them, and it helps keep them... They're not sticky, but like this is really smooth. It's like a foam. However, you can then just stick this on, and all of a sudden you have like a wooden stamp with the platform. But because it's clear, you can see where you're stamping it a lot easier. I like this one because it has the lines on it, so I can line it up and I know it's straight, or as straight as I'm going to be able to get it. It's great. So you can see that I've gone for the bottom lines. So I've gone for the bottom line. It doesn't quite line up at the top. But that doesn't matter. It means that when I'm putting it down, I know that if I line up this bottom bit with the bottom of the card, then the stamp is going to be lined up. So that is something that I'd recommend doing. Okay, so once I'm sure of where I want to put it, so I'm going to go for like that sort of look. That's cool, we've done that. So you need to move everything out of your way, especially if you're not using embossing powder. That's cool. You don't really need to move that much out of your way. I have a scrap of paper that I have used and doodled on a lot. I'm going to be using this. It's not to do with the stamping, it is to do with the embossing powder this time. So embossing powder is quite expensive, however it's a very effective tool in making something look pretty. The embossing powder will cover up the majority of the colour of the stamp. So really what you're going for is one where it's not going to show through as much, but you can still see it. Because you can buy actual embossing pads, and they annoy me because I can't tell if I've stamped out the whole stamp correctly. So I'm going to go for red because it's not going to it's going to show up on this, but if I do something wrong, it's not going to show up horrifically. And when you go to stamp it, what you want to do is you want to obviously cover this in ink, but you want to make sure that you're not getting it in between the gaps. If you get some, it happens, it's not a big deal, but you want to kind of apply pressure in this sort of rocking motion. So it means that you're kind of not applying direct pressure in the sense that you're going to end up with a load of ink in between the lines. And I don't know if you can see, but that's come a lot further out. Next, when you're doing the actual stamping, you want to make sure that your piece of paper is straight, that's got ink on it, and where you want it, and then you want to and just apply some pressure. Don't pick it up and restamp it, because that'll just end up in the bizarre layery thing that doesn't quite work, and it will mess up all of the little patterns. So once you've done that and you're sure you've pushed everything in, you need to take it off carefully, or do like this and just pull it off. And as you can see, it's quite, I like this stamp, it's very cute. It's not quite straight, but that's fine, we'll deal with that later. You can always cut this piece of paper more. Now next you want to move quite fast because you want to keep this wet and get your colour out. So I'm going for black, as I said, and all you do is you just sprinkle it over the top. Don't worry about the pure amount that you sprinkled. Obviously it looks like you've just used a lot of powder. Like it looks empty. You're going to be pouring most of that back in. That's why you've got the paper underneath. It's not to protect your desk or anything. It's so you can get it back. So one thing I would say as well, if you're blowing the powder off, you want to knock it off like this. Sometimes you'll get a few bits that are stuck. You can either use a paintbrush, depending on how close it is to the actual stamp, or your hand, because one thing that is for certain is that this is just like having glitter on it at the moment. It's not going to stay down very well. So now you've done that, before you do anything else, you want to put this powder back. This stuff is like stardust. You don't want to waste any. As I said, it's not the cheapest thing in the world for a little pot. And you just pour it back in, just straight like that. You've now basically got a full pot again. And I use black as one of the most common ones, as I'm sure you can imagine. Next, you need your heat gun. Now you don't want it to be too close, and you want to be moving it around. It may cause your paper to curl, as you can probably see mine is doing. That's fine. You'll be sticking it down flat anyway, and this is another reason why we do it afterwards, because obviously if you're doing it at the same time, then wouldn't be great. So this obviously then just embosses it, so I don't know if you can see it happen. Yeah, you can. But yes, so it looks really pretty. So there's that. You can see it's probably not straight. That's annoying, but it happens. So you need to leave it for like a couple of seconds to dry. It won't take that long. But as you can see, like I can run my fingers over it. It's already pretty dry. So while that is drying though, you want to clean your stamp. Now they have proper stamp cleaners, and I would recommend you use that over a baby wipe, which is what I'm using. However, as a cheap alternative, it works pretty well. And for me being a student, I don't have the money to buy professional stamp cleaning things. Right, so once you've done that, you can literally just pull the stamp off this Pyrexy. I don't even know what this is. Plastic? Yeah, off of this plastic. You can put this away wherever you keep it. And then all you do is you find your little bit that came on, stick it back on. And put it back in its wrapper. This is the sort of thing we have at the moment. It's quite pretty, it's quite cute. I'll alter this a little bit. If you use these will have lines in. If you line up the stamp as opposed to the paper, then you can do that, and you'll be able, off the excess card, and it will make your life a lot easier. So now that looks a bit better. It's still not 100% straight. It never will be, unfortunately. But it's better. So now you can bring back out your card. You've got this. I want to have it half over the dark and half over the light a bit, because then it looks quite pretty. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put it at an angle that is opposite the angle that you've put this at. Having the opposite angle makes it look more like you're trying to make it messy, as opposed to doing that, which some people might prefer, but I like doing it like that. Want that contrast in dark and light is what I'm saying, slash trying to say. And just use your double-sided sticky tape again. So there we go. So this is the card and what it looks like so far. But it's getting there. I think it looks quite pretty. Yes. So the next thing that we're going to do is it doesn't actually say happy birthday. So we kind of need to put that in there. Right, so that's what I decided to go for. It could probably do with some better embellishments on the side, but so thank you very much. Have a good day. Remember to drink tea. Will make your day even better. And I'll see you again later. Bye.